I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not feeling good.
Oh, you should have lied to me. I don't know what to do with that information. I do I have to be worried about you? Am I supposed to? You want soup?
No, I think I'm in an SOS kind of space right now.
Oh, what?
SOS, please. So anyway, I'm
Um,
having a case of the harumps.
Harumps. Now, is this a mental thing? Is it a physical thing? Because I've had a mental down day also. I mean, I don't think we have the time to talk about me because I'm a man, and apparently I should learn to deal with all the world's ills. Just take it on. But I'm feeling down also. I think it's the weather, but I'll turn it over to you and
I
go
have a
on mute.
question. You said take it on. Well, you know that term take it on the chin? What does that mean?
Oh, you know exactly what it means. No, it
It's
means you take
it's about semen, yeah?
no. It's about getting punched in the chin
Oh,
because
with
your
someone's
jaw is
dick.
supposed to be weak. Yeah. No. I mean, I guess that's a new type of boxing. I guess.
I've been reading the hockey smut books, okay? I've been
Ooh.
reading the hockey smut books, and then I'm going to watch the hockey smut show.
So the Hockey Smut show is based off of Hockey Smut books.
Yes.
I did not know this.
There's 7 books.
7 books. That's a lot. That's a lot
Okay,
of fucking.
so I've only read like 1.5 so far,
Uh
and the
huh.
first I'm gonna say like the books are long. They're like 400 pages long. I'm gonna say
Hmm.
a good 175 of those pages are just boning,
Just
just
boning and
boning.
just boning and doning. So question for you: as you've read a book and a half of this, right?
Yeah,
Have you learned hockey rules and have you learned gay boning rules?
gay boning rules, yes.
Okay.
Hockey rules, no.
Okay. Is there space for hockey rules or is it
I think
just
that there is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, there is a couple of like scenes in the book where they're about to score, and it's
uh-huh.
really exciting. Now that statement could be used for anything. That could be used for hockey rules, or it could be
Uh-huh.
used for gay bonin rules. They're about to score, and it's really fun. Um, but I'm excited to apparently watch the show because so there's a bunch of people that read the books that are like the books are smut. It's just smut. Okay. The
Mhm.
heated rivalry books, it's called the Game Changer series. It's just smut. It's not
Mhm.
like necessarily well written either. It's like pretty like 6th grade level writing, right?
Like 50 Shades of Grey, it was just smut basically. It wasn't like
Y-
good writing, it was just
yes.
okay.
And if you don't know, the premise is that it's about closeted hockey players,
Mhm.
right? So there's like an emotional component of, what it's like to be a man in a very masculine space and coming
Mhm.
out and all of that stuff, right? So I was like, okay, and then everybody's like, oh my god, he rivalry is so hot, it's so hot. But I was like, okay, well, it's just like the smut in on an HBO show, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no, the show is beautiful. Like they're like, it's filmed really nicely, it's
Mhm.
directed really like beautifully,
Okay.
and it's like really romantic in a way,
Oh,
and
that's nice.
it like shows a different side of like masculinity that's like, not necessarily explored in things. Like it's
From the
not broke back.
behind.
Real. Stop it.
I'm sorry. I say
But
none of this with any prejudice or hatred in my heart. I think it's all beautiful.
yeah, and then they're like, to add that to a sports story, it's
Mhm.
like a different layer because sports stories are fun. So
Uh, Now, when we were kids, I do feel that you did watch the Mighty Ducks movies,
I
D2
did.
the Mighty Ducks.
I did.
Now, is that what you're kind of imagining? Are you imagining Adam Banks, I think that was the name, and Charlie Conway going at it with Goldberg the goalie watching, maybe Cat?
Okay, it's not like that. It's not like that. Okay, everybody, it's not a weird kink thing. Okay, my
I'm sorry. You called it
no,
smut like 7 times.
I did. No, here's the thing. Whenever I watch football, I'm always like, whenever they start fighting with each other, I
You're
always
like,
say,
"Yeah,
okay, now I know, now
just
kiss,
kiss."
just
Yeah.
kiss, just kiss.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
what it basically is. Because I'm like, you guys are just all revved up because you actually love each other. Because there's like a deep admiration, I think, that men
Uh-huh.
have for each other that I don't think
Sure.
necessarily needs to translate to like sex. But I
Yeah.
do think that there is like we've talked about this a little bit before, but like I think that the way that men tend to embrace their friends,
Mm-hmm.
it's there. No, there's not a lot of room for it. There's not a lot of room for brotherly love,
Okay.
And I'm not saying, and I think that like it's cool to like I'm very excited to watch the show also because like the guys in the show seem really fun, like their
Yeah.
red carpet stuff, their like off camera stuff looks really cool, like they look like fun guys.
Yeah,
uh,
and white guys are in again. For
Actually one of them is Asian, so how
oh,
about you
okay.
shut the fuck up?
I'm
Okay, how
sorry.
about that?
It
How
was
about
a
that?
it's a hockey show. I made some assumptions. I apologize.
He's half Korean,
Oh,
okay?
okay. Oh, half. What's the
and
other
they're
half?
Ca- and they're Canadian, all
What's the other
right?
half? Oh,
White.
okay.
And they're
Uh,
Canadian, so it's different. Canadian whites
um,
are different. We all know this.
we do know this. So now I'm curious now because you said it's actually beautiful, and like I understand that thing that you're talking about. Like, hey, sometimes guys should just maybe instead of all this aggression and kind of holding all this stuff in, they should talk to their buddies and talk about their emotions and stuff like that, right? I understand that, but there is, that's a far cry from having sex with each other.
No,
So
I'm sure,
does that
but
feels a little bit like I don't
a
know,
jump, a leap.
incestuous a little bit. Like I have friends, I have guy friends that are some of my best friends. The reason I would not have sex with them is because I'm like, oh, that's like my bro. If I'm gonna go have sex with a dude, it would be with a dude
No,
that.
here's the thing. Here's why I think it's important. I think that when men show other men emotions, when a man
Hmm.
is sensitive, when a man is feminine adjacent or shows emotions that we don't necessarily associate with masculinity,
Hmm.
right? Men call other men who are soft. What do they call them? They call them dick suckers or cock suckers, right? Like that's
Cucks
what
is
they
a popular one these days.
yeah, but like there's a lot of stuff that's rooted in like when we talk about men showing emotions, a lot of the insults are rooted in homophobia, right?
Of
So
course, yeah.
I think that it's kind of I think it's fun. I'm excited to like watch the show because people are like, look, there's no boobs in the show,
Oh,
but there's a
oh.
lot of butts.
Is it butts? Okay. Listen,
There-
obviously I know of this show. I know it exists.
yeah.
Um, one of the listeners that was on the chat this weekend mentioned the show.
Hmm.
Um, and I asked how it was, and she said, "How much do you enjoy gay sex?" And I was like, in general or in my hockey, it's not really something that I've thought about. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm sure a part of this is my own inherent, whatever homophobia we were kind of raised with, and like just like, hey, if you don't need to watch it, then don't watch it, whatever, right? I'm not really eager to watch the show. I am
You're not
eager.
revving up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not revving up. But I am eager to learn about your experience watching the show.
My journey
Now,
with it.
your journey with it. Now, unfortunately, something that I have learned about you, and this has happened over the last few years over this podcast, and also as you have matured, is what I have figured out is you have very strong opinions. They're usually rooted in standards. Like you have standards. So like I trust your taste when it comes to shows and stuff like that, right? Like I think that, hey, you are pretty good. Unfortunately, the other thing that I have learned about you is you throw all of that out when it comes to the horny. When it comes to the horny, no standards, no woke rules, nothing. I see a person, I find them attractive, whatever. And you know what? As a sibling,
As a fellow
and
horny.
as a fellow horny, I am glad that I don't have to live in the shadow anymore. Because sometimes you just say, hey, horny trumps everything else. You know what I mean? Not everything else, but sometimes in the right setting,
Yeah.
horny wins out.
Somebody said it's like porn with a dialogue. It's like porn with feelings.
A
This
porn.
show, Heated Rivalry.
Yeah, there's, I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to
No, I don't
kind of
want to stop.
devolve. I don't want to go in a completely different tangent, but if you're looking for porn with feelings, I can direct you to some things.
No, that's okay. It's an
Sorry.
interesting journey. I'm really excited, and I watched the Golden Globes this weekend, and they were
Oh,
real fun on the Golden Globes. These two fellas, I think Connor something or another, Connor Story and Hudson Williams are their names, and they seem
oh,
fun. They seem like they're having a good time out there. They feel like they're having the time of their life. And anytime they talk to one of them and say, "Hey, you're doing a really good job. You seem like you're taking this really well," and he goes, "Well, I'm an actor,"
oh.
and I like that. That he's being pretty straight. Like they seem pretty chill so far for people who are like the the people are obsessed with them. People are
Yeah.
really, So I don't know. I thought
Good
it was
luck to those both. Good luck to everybody involved. How about that?
good
It
luck to
seems
everybody involved. I know. And this is like a Canadian show. So I feel like this is the first time we've had like a Canadian show get a lot of attention since like Schitt's Creek. I don't know any other Canadian shows.
yeah. I don't know if I look at shows by like I never think of, oh, this is a Canadian show. I just assume any show with white people is an American show or a British show.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can tell a British show. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Did you watch the Golden Globes?
I watched none of it. I was
Oh.
watching football and then I passed out. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's right. So the Globes are on,
I,
and
I have seen some clips, I will say.
is one of the clips Leonardo DiCaprio
I
talking
can't
to Tiana Taylor?
So I can't wait to talk to you about this Leo thing because he
Yeah.
has been a subject on this podcast over the years.
Yeah.
The only fight we've ever had, I think, was around Leo once. I don't know if you recall that.
Oh no, I remember.
We should stop recording. Then I had to apologize to you. You keep sending clips in the in the group with me and your husband of Leo, and you say Leoissance, right?
Which is so
And
silly. Which is silly, by the way, because the Renaissance literally had Leonardo in it.
yeah,
So
exactly. Also, like he's been the most famous actor going on 30 years now, so there really wasn't a dip or anything like that. But you seem to be more open and embracing of Leonardo DiCaprio as a person. And I'd like to hear your journey through all this, because I didn't watch that clip. I have seen a clip of him and Tiana Taylor
Mhm.
talking about one battle after another. I obviously watched the movie, and they're really great in that. I watched an interview of his with Jennifer. What's her name?
Florence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, and I found something about that pretty interesting that I wanted to talk to you about. But you know what? The floor is yours. Tell me how you feel about feel about Leonardo DiCaprio. What has changed? What hasn't changed? I would also like to add like an important bit of context to this. If memory serves right, Leonardo DiCaprio was your first guy. Like the first one that you mentioned out loud, you vocalized. I remember
As a
People
youth.
Magazine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember People Magazine. Right after Titanic came out, there was a
Mm.
picture of him walking with a coat in the rain. I don't know if you remember this, but you had it. You and our cousin said that it was a great picture, so I remember that. So I will turn it over to you now. Thank you.
Okay, I will say just to go back to nostalgia times, I had a folder on our family computer of just
Mhm.
pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Did you? I didn't know that,
I
you
did.
perv.
No,
Look
I
at
mean, it
you.
wasn't like
Yeah.
perverted pictures. It was just like it was like I wasn't gonna print out because like I am a digital girl from day one. I wasn't
Don't
gonna
say
print out
digital.
pictures. Speaking of hockey smut. Anyway, no, but I wasn't because like our apartment growing up wasn't very big, and I didn't have a room to like print out posters and put them
Mhm,
on walls. And I think our mom was like not gonna be okay with that. So I was
mhm.
like, okay, well, I'll just make a folder of pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio. And so I just would like download pictures of like just like modeling pictures and stuff of him because I just like he was my first like this is like I'm 12, 13 years old and I'm ready to tell everybody that I do like boys.
Yeah. Oh, it
Yes.
was in 12. Yeah. Question for you. What was the name of that folder?
I don't know if there was a secret name of the folder.
There wasn't so that's really when you know you've crossed the threshold into true
No.
perversion. It's
No,
when you call it like network files and it's just videos.
No. It wasn't like that. And they weren't like perverted. It was literally just pictures of him, like pictures probably that you would see in magazines. But like
Hmm.
we didn't have smartphones, so like what
Yeah.
was I was like, all right, well I'm gonna put them on my computer, our family computer.
Hmm.
Um. Anyway, here's the thing about Leonardo DiCaprio: 10 of 12 months of the year, every year. Okay, he is enemy number one. One, he dates women exclusively who have not developed their frontal lobe.
Hmm.
Okay, and he's hobnobbing, partying on yachts with billionaires who are actively destroying the climate. Okay.
Hmm.
Those are in when you were talking about, I have standards.
Yeah.
In my standards, those are hugely like massive offenses. Like I
Hmm.
would never be okay with that. That is problematic.
Yeah.
Okay. And then award season rolls around. Okay.
Yeah.
And this guy he does some shit during an award show. Like, I will never forget the video of him like laughing, clapping, and then like cringing and like
I saw
his
that
back.
today because Lady Gaga passes behind him.
Lady Gaga during like the A Star Is Born circuit where everything was like so emotional and over the
Mhm.
top, and he just like cringes. I will never forget that, of Lady Gaga walking behind him and him just
Mhm.
making the hilarious face. Like he will do shit where you're like, he is so funny. Like he is so funny. That clip of him, you guys haven't seen it. There's a clip of him and he's talking to Tiana Taylor. And he's like, "Oh, I saw you during the K-pop. I was watching you during the K-pop thing, and you were like, oh, what is this, the K-pop thing?" Like he was just being so silly and animated, and I was like,
Mhm.
"You silly bastard." Because here's my thing also. Okay, sometimes I'm overlooking problematic behavior for horniness. Sometimes it's just for humor. You make me
Yeah.
laugh hard enough, I'm like, "Oh, brother.
Yeah.
God damn it."
That'll do the trick.
So that'll
So
do it.
what I'm hearing, that was a nice explanation. What I'm hearing from you is age gaps, again, not a real thing. Not a thing to be worried about at all. Something absolutely made up by the woke mob over the last 10 years to ruin everybody's good time. What I was going to say about the interview that I saw of him and Jennifer Lawrence was it
Mhm.
was the first time that he looked all of his, however old he is, like 53 or 54. He looked all of his 50. Like it seems like he is slowing down, um, especially when it comes to like those public appearances and stuff like that. But like one battle after another, he is amazing. Like he is a great actor,
No,
right? So
he
it's like,
is. Yeah.
yeah, he's like the best actor. I personally have no problem with him dating whoever the hell he wants to because they seem to also be into it. It seems like I don't know why. It seems like being the girlfriend of the most famous movie star in the world who also is almost a billionaire and hangs out with billionaires on yachts and stuff seems like a fun thing to do. But according to you, these women are being trapped because
No!
of the
Nobody's saying anything about the trapping. I'm just saying he seems to have a pattern. Why, Leo, why won't you date anybody your age? The oldest woman he ever dated was, I think, Gigi Hadid, and that was like right after she turned 25 or something like
Mhm.
that. But like, she's busy bearding it up over there with Bradley Cooper. Anyway,
Ooh. That's something for us to get into.
allegedly. Hey,
Sure.
you said Leonardo. This is such a tangent, and I said this because of Bradley Cooper. Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, I do agree. I think he looks good too. Like in the
Mhm.
middle there, he was looking a little funky. I think he got like a good
Football
set of,
head.
yeah, it was like looking weird. And I think like the 40s were not his best.
Mm-mm.
50s are starting to look better.
Yeah.
And I think also he's gotten some good Botox. I
Oh.
shared a picture with our family of what Botox can do for you.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Ooh.
I've gotten a good
What was amazing to me was
I look like a caveman
I looked at both of those pictures because I see you every week, right?
every
And I
day.
will say, you have, sometimes I pop on and I'm like, oh wow, she looks good. I did not realize what a gargoyle you were last year. My goodness.
It
Thank God
wasn't
for.
last year. It was like 3 years ago.
Oh, was it? Oh man, I must have blocked it out. You look. No, I'm joking. It's fine.
Not a gargoyle. You know what? Patreon supporters,
Uh huh.
I will share it in the chat. I will share the picture that I'm talking about of what tasteful Botox and filler can do for you, and good skincare can do for
Hmm.
your do for your skin. But like, some good forehead Botox will really like lift you up. And I think
Yeah.
that you could see that a little bit in Leonardo, and he's starting to look really good. Like I think that he's starting to look good again. But on the topic of these men, have you noticed that there's like celebrity men who are like there's like a weird, like I can't tell if we're getting bad plugs. I can't tell if people are getting too much Botox, but people are looking crazy. Like I love Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
He doesn't look good.
I saw something popped up on Reddit. I promise I wasn't looking for it, but I probably knows based off of my trash algorithm, like the type of gossip that I look at, is that like Bradley Cooper addresses like plastic surgery rumors or whatever. And I
Mhm.
didn't really notice it before, but I guess he's on the press tour for the new movie that he has out about like the stand up comic or whatever. And there were
Yeah.
some side by side pictures, and I was like, "Ugh, what's going on here?" It's like in the eyes and stuff. They're like a little bit dead or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. I have never had elective surgery. Not that I'm
Mhm.
against it or whatever. You keep trying to push it on me. You're like, hey,
By the
if
way,
you,
Botox is not surgery, but okay,
oh,
go
I mean,
on.
whatever. I mean, you know what I mean. A procedure. Um, I isn't. Don't the same rules apply? Isn't it the same thing? Hey, just do whatever it is that you want to do to make yourself feel good, right? Um, I don't know. How do you feel about Bradley Cooper? Like, is that
Oh no,
are you
I
like?
think
I
by the
wish.
way, I think that there's nothing wrong with stuff like that. Like I said, I can obviously tell Leonardo DiCaprio's gotten some work done recently that looks
Hmm.
really good. I think he went to like a good injector or something. But like Bradley Cooper, you're starting to look like a wax figure. And
Yeah.
I feel that same way about ladies. Ladies, you're starting to look like wax figures, okay? So, I don't like, and then Will Arnett also looks crazy. I think he got some plugs. And I know this because they're both on a tour or press tour about a movie that they're both in together.
Yeah, I
And
think it's the
so
movie
that's
that
why it's
Bradley
come
Cooper
up.
directed. Yeah.
And then also Dax Shepard, is that his name from like Armchair
Expert. Yeah.
whatever, Kristen Bell's
Yeah.
husband. He also looks crazy, and then people are like, "Well, I think it's because like more men are going to get like hormone therapy, like testosterone hormone
Yeah.
therapy." And I think that also could be like messing with the way that they look. But fellas, I get it. You want to get in on what the ladies are doing, but like you got to go to some better people because some of these men are starting to look crazy.
Well, so I think it feels like that poor son of a bitch Zach Efron died for everybody's sins. You know what I mean? Like he was the first one where he was just like, "Hey, just do everything," and then everyone else was just like, "Okay, now we have a template. These are all the things that Zach did. He now looks insane, but now we can pick and choose what to do." That testosterone thing is actually interesting. We've been talking about that in our men's groups, in our
Mhm.
sports groups and stuff like that, right?
Men's groups, our boys' chats.
Our boys chats. I went to the I had my annual physical last
Mhm.
Saturday, and I got like blood work done or whatever, and I was asking my doctor, I was like, "Hey, like is that something that I should be looking at? Like is that can you test for that? Is that something that?" He's like, "Yeah, a lot of people are like a lot of men over 40 especially are looking into like testosterone like as an elective
Yeah.
thing, right?" So I don't know. Maybe I'll go on testosterone. I don't think I need it right now. I feel pretty good, but who knows? Like, what if?
I'm all for it. And by the way, guys, that's gender affirming care.
Yeah,
Everybody should have access to it and be able
I
to do whatever they want.
exactly. Everybody should have access to whatever they want, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, what are you getting a phone call in the middle of this? How dare
I am.
you?
I'm sorry. We are in the middle of the workday. I guess that customer can go fuck themselves.
Anyway, also during the Golden Globes,
Hmm.
there was this really bizarre section, and it's important to talk that we talked about Heated Rivalry first, but before the guys from Heated Rivalry came up to like
Hmm.
present, there was like this weird announcement for like the UFC. And then like two people from the UFC, one was a woman, one was a man, just like in gym clothes. Well, the woman was holding like a UFC belt. I don't know,
Hmm.
maybe they're famous UFCers. But they just like came out on the Golden Globe stage and like rock music played and it was like and like lights were flashing. It was very like WWE. And they just came out, walked the stage, and then went back. And then the announcer was like, from the show Heated Rivalry, you know, Hudson Williams and whatever, whatever. And then it was like Pink Pony Club, and all the lights went pink. And I was just like, what? What am
Now,
I watching? And apparently it's because the Golds are on CBS, and
ah,
CBS
I
is
was
now
gonna
the
ask you.
home of the UFC.
Well, CBS is now the home of the crazy. Is basically
Yeah.
what's happened. Like, you do you know what's going on with CBS? Have you been following
Yes.
that story?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about it? Can you give like a TLDR version of it?
Sure. So CBS was recently bought by Paramount.
Mhm.
Paramount is owned by this guy named David Ellison, whose
Uh-huh.
father is Larry Ellison, who is the owner and founder of Oracle. Larry Ellison is one of the richest people in the world, and he has
Yeah.
been one of the richest people in the world for like the last 30, 40 years. He is one of those people, right? Um, it's a little bit tricky to talk about this stuff because uh it kind of starts delving into like, hey, want to be careful about like talking about anti-Semitism and Israel and all those things, but that's the big part that you hear about it, right? So once Paramount bought CBS, the first thing that they did was they brought in this new editor and this new president for CBS News, or I don't know if she's just a president for CBS News or she's just a president of CBS.
Mhm.
This journalist named Barry Weiss, right? Barry
Yeah.
Weiss was a reporter for the New York Times. She used to write,
Oh,
I
I
think,
know
an
Barry
op-ed.
Wise. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So she is a controversial figure, is what I will say about her, just to kind of be safe. I personally believe that she's a bad person, right? Like I
Mhm.
believe that
Mhm.
if you go back and if you look at kind of the way that she talks about a lot of the world, she's also the person that interviewed Erica Kirk in that town hall, right? So
Yeah.
that is
Mhm.
a that's the perspective that they're pushing. CBS is has come out and said that, oh, the way that we used to do news, the way that mainstream media used to do news is wrong, and they have like actively said that they want to be anti woke. So they are basically siding up to the Trump organization or administration. They want to be more Trump friendly. They Paramount was also trying to buy Warner Brothers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then Netflix bought it.
Yeah.
Like, Warner Brothers decided that they wanted to go to Netflix, so now Paramount is pulling all the stops to try to stop that from happening,
Ugh.
including possibly getting Trump involved and having him block the deal between Netflix and Paramount, right?
Oh, yes, yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes,
Netflix
yes. Mhm.
and Warner Brothers. So all of that is actually really, really bad. It's really bad in terms, obviously we are pro Palestine. We're pro Palestine. We believe it's a genocide. I think it's okay
Yeah.
for us to say that it's a genocide and all those things. So obviously we come from that perspective, but I think overall, when you are looking at news and when you're looking at media and when you're seeing such a big influence of government authorities, regardless of who you are on like the political landscape, that's not a good thing. Like the government should not have that much of a say in what news you watch, and you shouldn't be that close to the administration, right? So it's
Yeah.
all very scary. That UFC thing does not surprise me because now CBS is basically just saying, "Hey, we're for dumb people." And listen, I've been a sports fan for like 30 years. I have tried to get into UFC. The only thing that is appealing about UFC is that you get to be a jackass and you get to be problematic and you get to say awful shit. Like I've tried watching those fights, man. They're not exciting. It's just a lot of grappling. And by the way, you want to talk about
You
heated
wanna talk
rivalry?
about "You Should Just
You
Kiss."
know,
Yeah.
you
So
which is
appar
going. Go
so
ahead.
apparently they purposely placed that portion of the show before Heated Rivalry, before the
Oh,
entrance of Heated Rivalry
counterbalance?
guys to count so some people feel it's to counterbalance, like, the gay stuff with, like, the extra macho stuff, but then they're also like, all it really did was make me think maybe UFC fighters should just fuck each other.
Yeah, yeah, they should. A lot of them should.
A lot of them probably do, and
Yeah.
you know what? And that's fine. It's just so crazy. Also, Nikki Glazer did this great joke. I don't believe that it was approved by the Golden Globe producers. She
Mhm.
said the award for best editing goes to CBS News. That's right,
Yeah.
America's number one place to see BS news.
Yeah, it
And
was
I was
great.
like, that was amazing, right? So yeah, I every time anything comes up with the UFC, I always think about how there is going to be a UFC fight on the White House
So
lawn for
it's
Trump's birthday.
literally idiocracy. Like it is literally we have a ex wrestler because that's what Trump was. He was in
Yes,
WrestleMania. He
I
was in a
know.
shave your head match against Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, who, by the way, uh, kidnapped a woman and sexually assaulted her. And
Mhm. Mhm.
his wife is now in charge of your children's education.
Anyway, well, while we're on that topic of just, the shit show that we live in, I don't know
Hmm.
how else to segue into the ice stuff.
Yeah.
Last week was super sad. We all saw the video of Renee Nicole Good in Minnesota getting killed in her car for honking her horn and, you know, protesting in her car.
Yeah.
And then what was crazy was, so we saw the video and then they're like, no, we need to look at more angles, more angles. We need more angles. So then we actually got the video of from the ICE agent who shot her.
Hmm.
We got it from his perspective and everybody's like, the body cam shows him falling. And I'm like, no, that's him actually taking the phone out of his hand,
Hmm.
switching hands to pull out a gun to shoot this woman. And
Hmm.
then the very last words he says to her are fucking bitch.
Yep.
And the very last words Renee Nicole Good said is, it's okay, dude, I'm not mad at you. And so, like, you know, I remember in 2020 when the George Floyd stuff happened, it was
Hmm.
like, oh, well, no, he was actually having a drug overdose. He didn't
Yeah.
actually die because of a knee to his neck. And I was
Yeah.
like, this video, certainly people will understand. But the thing is that as more and more information has come out over like the last 5 days, what we've learned from your girl, what's her face? Oh, who's
Pam
the head?
Bondi.
No,
Oh,
DHS.
Christy
Christy
Nome.
Gnome. Christy will shoot your dog, Gnome.
Hmm.
What's come out from that end is that they do believe that anybody who impedes with ICE's investigations can be shot in the face. They really do believe that you are protesting against ICE, you can be killed and arrested. They
You should be
believe,
shot in the face. Like that's.
yeah. Yeah, and like that video that they released of the shooter's angle of his video, like the JD Vance tweeted it. Like
Hmm.
these are videos that they're like, "No, no, this is what we want you to know. We want you to know that you cannot fight us. We will
Yeah.
shoot you." And then they released their new slogan, which is one of us, all of yours. And I was like, is that am I getting that right? Does that mean like if you come after one of us, we will get all of yours? Is that what that, because that's how I take, that's how me
Hmm.
personally I take it. I don't know how else to take it. But that, and then they're like, this woman was deranged, she was a lunatic. The craziest thing is they were like sharing pictures of her without makeup on and then pictures of her with makeup on, and they're like, she
Hmm.
was sick. And I'm like, no, have you seen a woman without makeup on? I don't think you've seen women is the problem for some of these people. But like, you know, it's really just heartbreaking to see that we really are living in times where I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, in 2015, 2016 is when Trump started to say the fake news thing, right?
Hmm.
And the people that want to believe that these are all good things, right? These are all, anybody who is presented with information that could potentially change their mind can actively now say, well, you can't trust Google, you can't trust the news, you can't trust the mainstream media. Let me
Hmm.
put on Fox News.
Yeah.
But like there is such a, like in the last 10 years, they've really done a number on people's ability um to believe what is right or wrong. And then what's
Hmm.
crazy is that even for the people that are told now, like even the people that support Trump who are now like, well, actually this is a step too far. When Trump and Vice President and Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi and all these people come out and say, no, this is all right by our laws,
Hmm.
the people that support Trump will say, all right, well, if they're saying that that's the law, then that's the law. Like, we
Yeah.
can't do anything about it. We just have to take them for their word. We just have to play nice. We just need to be good. And like, we've joked about like over the last 10 years about like, oh, one day when we're all in when we're all in the camps, do you think I'll be allowed to have a podcast? Right? Like I've joked about it before, but I'm not gonna lie to you. This it was this Sunday.
Hmm.
Somebody knocked on our front door,
Yeah.
and I didn't know who it was, and they were in like a regular car. And it was a gentleman in a coat, right? They knocked on our front door. And I was like a little bit hesitant to open my door because
Yeah.
I was like, I am an immigrant and my in laws are elderly immigrants
Yes.
and my husband is an immigrant. I don't know if I open my door to a strange white man, if he will say, let me see your papers and we just want to question you and you need to come with us.
Yeah.
I don't know that anymore, which
Hmm.
is like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's all insane, right? What it makes me think of, like that entire that entire thing with like the video and like, oh no, this proves that this guy was under attack and it was self defense and all those things. Like what I realize is like you can kind of go through that process and you can make yourself believe whatever you want to, right? If you are being honest though, and you say, okay, why is this person dead? This person is dead because ICE was doing raids in a fucking residential neighborhood, right?
Yep.
And all she was doing was expressing her First Amendment rights to like oppose this shit. She was doing the right thing, right? Another reason why she's dead is because ICE agents suck. They are bad. They are bad law enforcement agents.
Hmm.
There was no reason, even if you watch that video, there's no reason for that piece of shit to draw his gun. He drew his gun because he sucks. He is
Yep.
bad at his job. And that is how they are being trained now. Like I saw this thing about like ICE used to have 3 to 5 months of training. Do you know how much training they do now?
None. Zero. A
No,
week.
47 days. Do you know why they do 47 days?
Why?
It's for the
For just
stupidest reason.
Is it because Trump is the 47th president?
That is 100.
Oh my
And
god.
it's like, okay, what happens when you do shit like this? Well, what happens is innocent people
Well,
get shot in the
people
face.
die. People
People
die.
die, right? Um, but like the overall strategy, like the fact that Trump was tweeting it out and Vance tweeted it out, and they're saying that it's all okay. What it makes me think of is what you told me after the election, which is there is this movement which talks about the sin of empathy, right?
Mhm.
And that's basically what they're trying to do at this point. They're just trying to be
Yeah.
like, empathy is bullshit. What you should be like as an American, you should be a selfish fucking human being. You
Yep.
should be out there and you should only care about yourself and your family. And you should make as much money as possible because apparently that's what Jesus Christ wanted for you. Jesus
Yeah.
wanted you to have a fucking golden bidet so you could shit on gold and you could live on diamonds, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
message that they're trying to get it out. And when you look at kind of how social media is set up, like if you look at the people that have gotten popular over the years, right? That makes sense. Like we are promoting materialism, like we are
Yep.
promoting like all of these like alpha bros or whatever, right? That's all they talk about. They talk about how good it is to be rich, how good it is to be wealthy, how caring for other people is stupid and makes you a cuck and all those things, right? So what I kind of hope happens, and I don't know, man, like I, I talk to a lot of people now, just because that's my work. And I have to interact with a lot of people. I still believe that in general, you are a good person. I think that's kind of how it works. I think when you are up against it, it is very easy to fall into traps where you blame other people for your problems. But if anybody is being honest with themselves and they really look at, okay, why is my life the way that it is?
Mhm.
Why am I not able to make my grocery payments? Why is electricity so high? If they're looking at the entire picture, you can see why, right? Like you can see,
Yeah.
well, there's stupid fucking economic policies. Trump seems to be a moron. Nobody respects him. He's erratic, blah, blah, blah. But it's more comforting a lot of times, just to say, well, it's actually the immigrants. That's the reason why. It's nothing that I did. I live my life the same way that my parents lived their life. They were okay, but it's all of the they didn't have to deal with these, immigrants that had to come in and took things out of my mouth, which is, it's demonstrably not true. Like that's not how the world works. But if you want to believe it because it makes you feel good, then you can believe anything, right?
Yeah. Do you know about the Mexican repatriation?
No.
Okay, so this happened in the 1920s and 1920s to 1930s, like during the Great Depression.
Hmm.
And it was where there was about anywhere between 500,000 to 2 million Mexican and Mexican Americans who were deported out of America.
Hmm.
And the thought was that this was happening because America could no longer sustain an immigrant population. They could no
Hmm.
longer sustain, these people. And this is what we needed to do because in order to financially make the country better. And so like the fact that this happened 100 years ago, right? Like this is I see a lot of like black like political content creators and stuff that are talking about like this horrible death that we saw, right, of of this woman in Minnesota, but she's not the first person that ICE
Hmm.
killed. Last year over 60 people died in ICE custody,
Yeah.
right? So I think earlier this year a black man was shot and killed by ICE. Just earlier this year, as in this month of
Hmm.
January, which we're on the 13th day on, right? So
Yeah.
I think that when a lot of black content creators and black people of color talk about it, they're like, I can't believe this is the America we live in. But like, unfortunately, all of the things that we love about this country, all of the things that drew us to this country, those
Hmm.
are true. But the reality is that this is a country that was built on slave labor. This is a
Yeah.
country that was built on the marginalization of certain populations so that they can ultimately make more money, right? Like, I you remember that woman? I forgot her name, but she in like during COVID times, she used to do like the Trump like lip syncs.
Hmm.
She was really funny.
Yeah.
But she made this video once talking about like capitalism and how it's like and slavery and how it like has formed in America in the last like 200 years. And it was like when you were a rich person back in the day 200 years ago, you could buy slaves.
Yes.
That was your currency, was like that your greatest asset was the ability to buy slaves. And then at some point they said, well, you can't buy slaves anymore.
Yeah. You can't
Can't do
own
that.
people.
So then they're like, okay, well, what can I buy? And you're like, well,
Yeah.
I can, you could buy a factory. And they're like, all right, I'll buy factories. And then you just are like, what else can I buy? You're like, you can keep buying factories.
Yeah.
And then you become really rich. And then they're like, well, I have all this money. What else can I buy? And they're like, well, you could buy politicians.
Hmm.
And then you buy politicians. And then once you buy politicians, you're like, well, what can a politician do for you? They're like, they can change the laws so
Yeah.
that you can buy slaves again. Because
Yeah.
that's really like what's happening here, right? Like that is what is happening here. And it's just like, how do we get as many bodies as possible to make rich people more rich? And the bodies
Yeah.
that they want to use are black and brown bodies. That's really what it is.
At least
And
for the
there
first go around until they chew us all up, and then you got, cheap white bodies that are going like that's what's going to happen, right?
yeah,
And
and
that's
by the
probably
way,
happening right now.
yeah, and by the way, like they was it like 4 years ago or 5 years ago? I was during the last Trump administration, like 6 years ago, when is it Sarah Huckabee Sanders or whatever?
Hmm.
She was like getting a in Arkansas, she got like a bill signed for like where children can work now
The
or
children
something,
can
right?
work again. Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what it is. Okay. That's what it is. Okay. They're gonna go through the immigrants and then they're gonna be like, all right, kids, put on brush off that mind soot, cough out your black lungs. It's time to get back to work. Like that's really what they're trying to do. And that's what it is. So
E- e- it's all very depressing. One thing I wanted to say was, we moved to this country. I think I may have mentioned this before. Like we moved to this country in 1995. The America
peak,
that
peak America.
Oh, so good. I think I've said this before. Peak America for me is the summer of 2008. The
Oh yeah.
Obama campaign and the Beijing Olympics. Just the best time in the world,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
right? But when we moved to America, we moved roughly 30 years after the civil rights, um, you know, after
Movement.
civil rights, that movement started, and probably 25 years after like those laws were signed and all those things, right? The country that we moved into was like, okay, in America, yes, there are, my perception of it was, yes, they're mostly white people, but the great thing about America is that it is open for everybody, right? And we were like, and we moved in with the understanding that this is how it's always going to be. Like
Yeah.
America is like the land of opportunity, because you can come here and you can do anything that you want to. And I still think that that's true for, if you are, if you are a person, if you get into the system and you start moving your way through it, then that is like the land of opportunity. That part of it is very, very true. But when, you look at the world today and then you go, okay, I don't understand this. This doesn't feel like the way that America is supposed to be. America is supposed to be this open society that welcomes all of these immigrants and all that stuff, right? What I'm realizing is like those 30 to 50, like basically those 50 years from like 1970 to let's say 2020, right? That was actually the anomaly. Like that
Yeah.
is the part that where we thought that this is what America's supposed to be. That was actually the part where it was different. The rest of the time, this country has been a place primarily for rich white men to
Yep.
come in and own everything, right? So the stuff that's happening right now, a big part of the reason why people are okay with it, why it seems unfamiliar to me and you, is because we came into a country where that shit wasn't. That's not how shit was supposed to
It
happen. But
wasn't on the pamphlet when
it
we were
wasn't on the
coming
paper.
here. It
That's not
wasn't on
what.
the guidebook.
Yeah, no.
Mm.
But if you think about somebody that was, let's say, 15 in 1965 and is like 75 years old right now, that is America. Like, this is
Yep.
America. America is supposed to be a place where, as a white person, you get a leg up. And as a black person, you go to the back of the line. And everybody
Mhm.
else should just be fucking grateful that they get.
Grateful.
Just be grateful that you get a fucking scrap, right? And if you
Yeah.
talk, and if you in any way talk about how that's not fair, or that you want more, you get told to get the fuck out, because this
Yeah.
isn't that's not how this is supposed to be a country where you come in, you work your ass off, and you make the white man more money. Like
Yeah.
that's what traditional America is to these people. So I don't know, man. It's depressing, but I also think that, again, I think there's all this stuff ebbs and flows. I feel like what's happened over the last 10 years is kind of like the last big swing of white supremacy, of like, hey, we're sure we are going to pull out all the stops. We're going to be as racist as possible. We're going to try to get this thing to work, because it's working for a lot of people, right? Like younger people are now more openly racist and
Yeah.
more homophobic than when you and I were growing up, even, right? And we grew up
Yeah.
in like a pretty, we were brown kids in Pennsylvania. It's not like it was a cakewalk or whatever,
Yeah.
but still, like I feel like younger kids now feel more emboldened to be racist. Every video you watch on YouTube and there's mention of meat, whether that's a cooking video or anything, you hear meat and apparently you have to say pause because meat means gay. You know what I mean? It's like
God.
there's a
It's the
complete
new. Yeah,
dumbing
it's
down.
it is. And I think I also wonder if it's like when we were kids, obviously it was very problematic. F word slur, N word
Hmm.
slur, all the slurs, like very casually thrown around, right?
Yeah.
And I think that like our generation, like millennials, we grew up being like, we were like, they were like, no, this is hurtful, like we don't do that, we
Yeah.
don't do that, right? And we are like, okay, great. And then Gen Z was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. And then something about the lower generation of Gen
Gen
Z, like
Alpha, man.
the Gen
These
Alpha,
fucking kids that grew up in COVID times, they are maniacs.
it's bad. It's like they did not want Gen Z to tell them that this is messed up. Gen
I,
Z was like, I think that we should try to be better. And millennials were like, you know what, Gen Z, we're gonna listen to you because we hated the fact that boomers didn't listen to us. And so
hmm
like Gen X and millennials were like, let's take a page out of Gen Z. And then
hmm
Gen Alpha was like, What if we said the R word again?
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it's because Gen Alpha, like, sometimes I feel about the like, this is what I feel is happening. It's like the worst kids I knew in high school are now parents. They're parents for, like, these
You're right.
fucking morons,
You're
right?
right.
And it's like, "Oh, yeah, like, that kid, whatever, in 7th grade was a piece of shit. Why did I expect him to have, like, this growth over time? Because all he did was he had a kid, and now that kid's an idiot, right? So and when you take away, like, the overall, I guess, I don't know, like, when you lower the standards for society overall,
Yeah.
and you have these morons and there aren't those guardrails against racism and stuff like that,
Yeah.
then, that's what it's easy. It's so easy to be racist. It's so easy to be homophobic. It's much easier to be that than actually, do some internal work and try to figure out why you feel the way that you do, right? So I don't know, man. It's a bummer.
Well, I know it's feeling like a bummer and hopeless, but 2026 is the year of midterm elections. And
Ooh.
I don't want to sound like a person who wants to beat a dead horse, but I do believe that it's important to vote for
Uh,
people. Yeah, you don't
Look
think so.
at you. No, look at you. You're so cute and naive. You think that there's going to be elections this year? You think there isn't going to be martial law? Are you crazy?
You're right.
What
You're right. You're right.
what makes you think that there are going to be elections? If I had to make a bet this year, I'd say no elections.
Oh my God. Speaking of bets, the
Mhm.
other thing that happened during the Golden Globes where there was like these poly market, like
Oh, is that what was happening?
betting odds at the bottom, and they're like the poly market betting odds are showing that Amy Poehler's and ahead of the lead in the podcast of the year category or whatever. And I was like, this is a Hunger Games. Like we are second,
It's
so why are we are betting on everything.
the betting market stuff is insane, man. Like I see it in sports or whatever, but apparently you can bet on whatever the fuck, and you go, all right, sure. I guess it's another revenue stream for somebody. It's not for me. I'm not the one making money off of bets, but
There
somebody's making
is
money.
a poly market bets on the daily press briefings from like Caroline Levitt
Yeah.
and whether or not she's going to go the full time or under time. And so the other day, she, like, abruptly left one of the things, and they're like, "This is because she probably voted, or, like, she probably bet on herself." Like, this is what it's so corrupt, it's so messed up. You can literally bet on anything. You can bet on the forecast for tomorrow.
Hmm.
It's, like, insane, right? But anyway, to go back to the election, I bring this up because are you familiar with the podcast Las Culturistas?
That's the Bowen Yang one, right?
Yeah. Did you hear what happened recently this week on the
Mm?
Bowen Yang Matt Rogers podcast, Las
No,
Culturistas?
no.
Okay.
What happened?
So, as you know, Bowen Yang just left SNL, right? So
Hmm.
he had this episode on his podcast with Matt Rogers, and they're talking about like him leaving SNL and what this looks like, and he's just like so grateful and everything. And something comes up about elections, and suddenly Matt Rogers says to the audience, he says, "Guys, don't give your money to Jasmine Crockett. It's a
Hmm.
do not donate to politicians. Don't send your money to Jasmine Crockett. It's going to be a waste of your money." And then he says, and then they're like, and he says something about like the politicians don't need your money, right?
Hmm.
And and then he's like, I want to qualify what I'm saying about Jasmine Crockett. He was like, I just think that she's like too well defined as a politician, and she's unlike like if Beto couldn't win the state a Senate seat in Texas, Jasmine Crockett's not going to win that either. And then he goes, I want to know more about this James Tellerico guy. Like, I don't really know about him, but like, I would love to know more about him. Now, I want to remind everybody that Matt Rogers is from Long Island, lives in New York, has never lived in Texas,
Hmm.
should not necessarily be having this like millions of followers or millions of listener platform to be used to put down a black woman who has lived her entire life in Texas and has worked for the state of Texas for many years now and has now established herself as a prominent politician in the state of Texas representing her communities, right? People lost it because they were like, Matt Rogers,
Hmm.
why the fuck would you say that, right? I felt bad for Bowen Yang because Bowen Yang also, he goes, I have to agree with you. Like he said something
Hmm.
like that when Matt was talking. whatever he said was completely fucked up. I think you and I can agree on that, right?
Yes.
I just want to talk about Bowen Yang. You're Bowen Yang. You leave this job on SNL
Hmm.
because you have been hanging out with Ariana and SpongeBob, as Tina
Yeah.
Fey said. You have a really exciting career ahead of you. Your movie that you were in 2 years in a row is like, is nominated. Bro, oh, I spilled water everywhere, guys. Water is everywhere.
A live look.
a live look, a live look. And you know what? It's really good because I'm wearing leather pants today, so my
Ooh.
pants aren't wet.
Oh, look
Anyway,
at you. Is
ew.
it from the Erica Kirk collection?
Can I say something? You're not gonna like this because it is my husband and I am your sister.
Mm.
But I wore these leather
No, no, no,
pants,
no,
and
no,
my
no,
husband
no, no.
said, "Those look really good on you." And I said, "Do I look like Erica Kirk?" And he said, "What? Why would you say that?"
Oh.
Anyway, anyway, but you're Bowen Yang.
Hmm.
You leave your career at SNL because you know that great things are ahead for you.
Yeah.
And then you do a podcast episode, and your coworker says this thing, puts his foot in his mouth. You agree with him, and then you're like, everyone's gonna hate me.
Hmm.
That I think is kind of funny.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's also I don't, it's the first I'm kind of hearing about it. When we talked about Jasmine Crockett a few weeks ago, right? And I think what we were talking about was like there were, as soon as she announced that she was running for Senate,
Hmm.
people were like, "Oh, she's taking money from APAC." I think was
Which
that the
she's
thing?
not.
Which
Yeah.
she hasn't, right? But she voted to send money to Israel at some point as part of like a defense bill or whatever, right? And people had a problem with that.
Yep.
I think I would think like I understand like this, um, you know, the cynicism that you can have for anybody that is a politician that has been a career politician. Like that's an easy thing to say, but and I also think it's a legitimate thing to say because if you are a politician, I know that you have to make certain sacrifices in terms of who you do business with and like the kinds of places where you get money just because that seems to be a job requirement, right? So if
Yeah.
somebody wants to come out and they just say, hey, just because you're a politician, it disqualifies you on some level, sure, I get it. At the same time, like you also have to look at the context of everything, right? Like Jasmine Crockett, like you said, is an African American woman that has worked for the voters of Texas for a really long time. But
Yeah.
beyond that, you and I know Jasmine Crockett because she is one of the few people that has vocally stood up against the rising tide of white supremacy in
Yep.
this country. And she has vocalized it in ways that you and I wish that other people would. Like, that is
Yep.
not how establishment Democrats talk about it. So, I, I just feel like whatever that thing is that that guy said is just lazy. It's just
Yeah.
lazy to be like, hey, no, fucking, oh, you think that politician's good? Let me out, woke you by saying this thing, right? Um, do I find it funny that it happened to Bowen Yang? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Bowen Yang. Like I enjoyed him on SNL.
I do
Like
love him. I do love him on SNL. I did
I,
not love that he sat there and said, "I agree with you." Their whole thing on their podcast is, "I don't think so, honey." So they
mhm,
say this thing at the end of the podcast where they say, "I don't think so, honey," and then they say, something that they don't like.
yeah,
And they give their listener, like, guests a minute to talk about it or whatever. And a lot of people were like, "I don't think so, honey. Your tagline is mimicking Black women and how they talk. Like,
yeah,
your podcast is called Las Culturistas, which is, sort of a play on like Spanish.
yeah.
Neither of you are Hispanic. Neither of you are Latino. Like, so, I think that there's something to say there, right? Of like, you can't, again, it's like this idea that everybody, and you and I can say it, we have benefited in a lot of ways from
Hmm.
Black culture. We have benefited in a lot of ways from Hispanic culture. The
And
cultures in this country that have existed before we got here, we benefit from Italian culture as part of New Jersey, right?
I,
Like,
I'm about to benefit from gay culture by watching that heated rivalry show tonight.
exactly. So I think that it would behoove us
Yeah.
to, to like sit here and and not give credit to these cultures that have existed, and then to sit here and then be like, I think that this black woman who's a career politician, she's been around since 2000, like, or 2020.
Yeah.
That's 5 years. That's not a
Yeah.
career politician. She's not like what's his face in fucking Kentucky who won't fucking go, Mitch McConnell. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's not a Lindsey Graham. She's been
Mm-hmm.
around for 5 years. That's all
Yeah.
she's been around for. Before that, she was a public defender. Like, people think that when it, and again, it's a scrutiny that is put on specifically on black women, right? Also, this week we found out that James Talrigo said, I think that US should always support Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Yeah.
hi. So he says
Yeah.
the same thing that Jasmine Crockett said. Now what? Now what are you going to do? Now you have to come up with a new thing to not like her about, right? Because you don't like that. And so I don't know. I feel bad for Bowen Yang because that's gotta suck.
That's gotta suck.
That's gotta suck.
Counterpoint. Now, do you think that Jasmine Crockett, being an African American, congresswoman in the national spotlight, getting called and harassed by racist assholes on the right and by people all across this country, do you feel like she has achieved as much as this white podcaster? I don't know. I don't know. I maybe she hasn't achieved as much as this white guy on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we should look at that and scrutinize that. I'm
Yeah.
joking around.
That's silly. Anyway, let's wrap up the chat today by talking about the playoffs this weekend. The NFL playoffs happened. My husband went to the game with the Philadelphia Eagles against the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers. And let me tell you something. I said this in the group chat, in the Patreon group chat. If you're part of the Patreon, you should check that out. The Patreon group chat. I have to say, I had a great time watching that game on Sunday. That game was so much fun for me as a person who loves both teams. I really do love both teams. And I really realized that while I was watching it. I was like, this is great. I'm so happy for the 49ers.
Well, listen, you say that. I went along with it because I was focused on the game. The team needed me to focus on the game.
Yeah.
I did hear you when you wrote that out, and I go, okay, yeah, that's
That's some
nice
shit.
for you. Yeah, that's nice for you. I have to ask you though, that 4th and 11 play, right? Deep down inside, as you were watching it, what did you want to happen on that play? Did you want the Eagles to complete the pass, or did you want it to be deflected?
I wanted them to complete the pass.
Go fuck yourself. You were not rooting for both teams. You were rooting for the Eagles because of your stupid husband. No.
Listen to me. Here's the one thing. Because whenever the 49ers completed a pass, I was pro offense, no matter who was in offense. That's basically what it was. I was like, whoever has the ball right now is the person that I'm rooting for. I was like, everybody should get a fair chance to get the ball, right?
Oh, it's
that's
participation
really how I felt.
trophy culture. Just like, hey, you get the ball, you score.
Everyone
gets a touchdown.
And that's how Gen Alpha existed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we came up with Gen Alpha. No, I did. You know what? My poor husband, he was sad. He had a sad day. He was not happy. He had a sad day. He came home and he was like, I was in the cold for too long. I feel sick. And I said, I think you might be sad, but that's okay. But he said, now I just have to watch the season like a regular person. And I said to him, yeah, like a Cowboys fan or something. Ooh. He was like, not too much.
Well, he's not just watching the rest of the season as a regular person. He is actively involved in the comings and goings of the Philadelphia Eagles front office. They got rid of their offensive
that's right.
coordinator today. He sent,
what's his name? Kevin
Patullo. They got rid of him. Your husband sent hold on. I don't know if you can see this.
I can't.
You can't see it.
What is it?
Basically, my entire screen is 4 giant texts from your husband complaining about Jalen Hurts and the offense. He is very, very involved in who the next offensive coordinator is going to be, but he feels like it's really Jalen Hurts who is limiting the team. So, what I will say is, hey, Mike, I really loved that game. Watching that game was awesome. I will also say, hey, shout out to the listeners that joined me on that group chat, because that was a lot of fun. if that is something that you'd like to partake in, I will be doing that. Obviously, for all the 49ers games, that was just fun. And
But
then
you also did it last night for
we did
the Steelers game.
for the Steelers game. Yes, there's a lovely young lady named Chastity who told us
Yeah.
that she was a Steelers fan. So
Yeah.
we watched the game together and we made little comments here and there. So it's love, man.
It
Sports is
was.
the
It was.
best.
Sports is great. Sports is great. The
Yeah.
only thing sports needs more of is some gay sex.
Yeah, some boning.
Some boning. Anyway, I can't wait to be back this weekend to talk to you about traders.
Traitors. Yes.
I can't wait. Everybody's having a great time. Big thumbs ups for our episode this
Oh,
past
good.
weekend. People are loving it. They're really happy. Also, last night I got to go on I Am the Cute One, Donnie and Chelsea's podcast. They did a
Mhm.
thing with our Patreon where they did a Zoom Traders. It was
Oh.
Traders Express. And so they invited a bunch of other podcasters to come on. I got to be on it. I got killed in the second round. But it was really, really fun. And a lot of the people in the I Am the Cute One Patreon said we would love to see Raheel and Arthi in the
Oh.
next time that Chelsea and Donnie do this. So if you are subscribed to I Am the Cute One, go listen to their Patreon. They think they're going to be releasing the video episode on their Patreon for everybody to watch of the Zoom. It was so much fun. It was the best.
That's nice. That's awesome.
I had the time of my life. Anyway, yeah.
I will just say about our traders episode, I enjoy doing that. I think our cousin pointed out that maybe we weren't awful enough to Michael Rappaport. I think we really need to, because
Turn it up.
I've because I watch the show and I guess my algorithm or whatever, I get like news alerts or whatever. The prevailing sentiment is that Michael Rappaport is the worst person on the show. And not only is he the worst person on the show, but he is potentially ruining the show for people just by his presence. Like, nobody likes to see him. He is not funny. He is not enjoyable. Our cousin pointed out that there was a close up of him eating spaghetti.
Yeah, it was on
And
the
all,
Patreon exclusive. Patreon exclusive, guys. It was like this. It was like the plate was right here
yeah,
under his lip, and then he had the fork in his hand, and he was shoveling it into
shoveling
his
it.
mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
Also, when he drinks water with two hands.
yeah.
He's very Trump-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so we're going to turn that up a little bit more. We're going to
Yes.
turn up the hatred on Michael Rappaport. Portia did an interview with somebody, and she said, Michael Rappaport is an awful person. Like, she's like, I went in being like, oh, like, he's whatever, like, but she's like, no, he is an actual awful person. He is a terrible person. So, there you go. Listen to black women, okay?
Yeah.
That's what we should come out of this with. Anyway, I gotta go. It's time for Maghrib. I do need to pray. And then after I pray, I need to get back to these hockey smut books.